Starting with the first season of Kyle, we had a pattern of ending the season with a cliffhanger that would kick us off into a new mystery.
We were looking for some big bang to carry us into what we thought was going to be the next and possibly last season of Kyle XY.
So season 3 built up to this big climax between Kyle and this character, Michael Cassidy. We were really intent in creating a character in Cassidy that didn't feel like a mustache-twirling villain.
Waited a long time to meet you, Kyle. Glad you're here.
Cassidy is the perfect representation of what we wanted. He's kind of a badass. He's sexy. He's incredibly charismatic. He's incredibly charming.
He is sent in by Latnock to try and persuade Kyle to join them.
Let us show you we're the good guys. I'm not interested.
I'm hoping you'll change your mind.
Kyle wants nothing to do with this guy. Cassidy is persistent and spends the bulk of the season trying to convince Kyle that all they want is for him to come into the fold, fulfill his potential, and show the world what you can do. It always kept Kyle off balance and the audience off balance. Is this someone we can trust or not?
I think that this cliffhanger at the end of season 3 is one of our favorites because it's so intensely personal.
After having had villains who were easily disposed of, we wanted a more durable, a more complex villain.
Grace Kingsley, my mother.
What about her?
She's your mother too. I'm your brother.
We fully intended to continue to explore this new discovery in the show. Unfortunately, we didn't have that opportunity.
I know a lot of fans are wondering where the show would go after that moment, and we had big plans. We intended to be coming back for another season, but we didn't. And so when all is said and done, we have a lot of story to tell still.
When you have a show that's built about a boy who presumably has no family and only has the family that adopts him, when you learn that he actually does have biological family, it's extremely powerful material. And the intent was to give us a lot to play with.
100% Cassidy was telling the truth. 100% Cassidy and Kyle come from the same mother. I think that's what was going to drive a lot of our story in the next season. Cassidy oddly spending his whole life having this jealousy, coming around to realize that Kyle is as extraordinary as everybody thought him to be.
I think Cassidy would have remained an antagonist, but I think it's in Kyle's nature to try to understand how could Cassidy, who's his own brother, be so evil? How could he threaten to harm the people that Kyle loves the most?
I'll hurt everybody that ever mattered to you.
One of the things that we wanted to explore in the next season was really having Kyle struggle with the question of, is it okay if you don't like your family very much? Does blood bond you forever? Or is a family like the Traegers that takes you in and loves you unconditionally? Is that what family is really all about?
All he's ever wanted was to be a part of your family. To Kyle, this is home.
Why does that name sound familiar? Grace Kingsley was in Adam's notebooks. She's a member of Latnock.
It's funny that we never had Kyle question who his mother is.
Grace Kingsley was, in fact, the egg donor for Kyle. So she is, in fact, Kyle's biological mother.
Grace Kingsley was going to be a big struggle for Kyle as he tried to see the good in her.
The woman who was going to manipulate him and exploit him for the worst reasons is his own mother.
The mother to one of the most spiritually beautiful people on this earth was going to be all bad news.
We probably would have kept her in the shadows a bit and led up to a big reveal.
Like every adoptive mother's worst nightmare. Showing up on the doorstep, knocking on the door, saying, I'm back for my son. Thank you for taking care of him, but he's mine and I want him back. And of course, the Traeger family will never be torn apart. So at the end of the series, Kyle would have been right there at the center of it.